The crossover today presented by Burn Pest Control, the go-to termite and pest prevention service for Mike and myself. Go find at burnpest.com and get 10% off your initial service if you tell them that we sent you by. Mikey, how are the dog days of summer treating you?
Dog days of summer are doing well. We actually have things to talk about this summer as opposed to some other summers. Big NBA trades, baseball news, Rays. What are they? It's actually been quite refreshing.
And on top of that, we are now interested in the WNBA because Caitlin Clark has piqued all of our interests. In fact, I'll go ahead and start right there because I'm curious to get your thoughts on this Caitlin Clark situation playing out in the WNBA. Teams, opposing players have been physical with her. I don't think that anybody can deny that. It's a more layered conversation, of course. But my question to you is, in regards to this situation and the scuffles, the most recent one that she got into with Connecticut, and it's not the first time that we've seen this, is the overall conversation, is it A, overblown, B, a problem for the league because of potential injury to their cash cow, or C, is it just absolute gold because of the attention that it gets? It's got to be one of those three things.
Absolute gold. And I know this might sound blasphemous. I love Caitlin Clark, all right? Love her. But she's a flopper, all right? She enhances the contact that she gets. Let's not act like she's just getting mauled out there. I don't think that's the case. She initiates a lot of the contact, and then when it comes, she's like, she's flailing all over the place, flopping like an MLS player, for crying out loud. So, but it's goal for the WNBA. We talk about her 2 or 3 times a week on our show. We didn't talk about the WNBA 2 or 3 times in the entire season before. Now it's 2 or 3 times per week. We're talking about Caitlin Clark, especially this time of year when there's no football going on. Obviously, we're looking for topics, and I said this earlier when the NBA Finals first started, and I might have even said it on the crossover. I think if Caitlin Clark were to be in the WNBA Finals, I think it would outdraw this NBA Finals. In fact, that's my question to you. What do you think?
Yeah, probably. She's a ratings dream. The numbers that she brings in are, it's almost like they're not NFL numbers, but I'm making the comparison that you in this similar way that you can't compare NFL numbers to anything else because it's unfair to the thing you're comparing it to. Caitlin Clark is kind of like that. It's like Tiger Woods in golf. She just can't.
That's it. She is. When she plays, it's like Tiger Woods, when Tiger Woods in his prime playing in a tournament. If he didn't play, the ratings were in the toilet. If he did play, the ratings were record ratings. That's what she is.
And my thing with the physicality is that I don't think many of us know whether or not other players get picked on the way that Caitlin Clark does. That's where I hesitate to have the conversation that you see in places like First Take and others that want to make this, a really controversial situation with Caitlin Clark getting picked on. I don't know if this happens in other WNBA games because I'm not watching them. So if a tree falls in the forest and I can't hear it, did it fall? This could be happening in every game across the league, and we don't know because we don't talk about it. That's my thing with Caitlin Clark. It might not be that unique. I've watched women's sports plenty over the course of my life. I haven't been the biggest WNBA fan over the years, starting to watch it more now. But women's sports are very physical. So this could just happen everywhere.
Well, and it's also, she is the star of her sport, all right? She is, she's only in her second year. She's going to get better and better. She's the star of her sport. And when you're the star of your sport and you cannot be stopped, I mean, when Michael Jordan was the star of his sport, what did the Pistons do to him? They roughed his ass up, the Jordan rules, all right? That's what you do to people you can't stop. You rough them up. What great quarterbacks in the NFL. What do you try to do to them? You try to knock them out of the game and pressure them and rough them up. That's what happens. That's sports.
Absolutely.
If you're good, you're going to get roughed up.
So you've been all over this. I need you to give me some peace of mind here. This potential buyer from Jacksonville for the Tampa Bay Rays, Patrick Zalupski, who also is a part owner of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, one of the great names in sports.
It is.
To me, it sounds like this guy would want to keep the team in Tampa. So are our chances diminishing here in the City Beautiful?
Yeah, I don't think it's. Here's why it's good for Tampa, because if Stuart Sternberg sells the team, he's hated so much over there by the politicians, both in Pinellas and Hillsborough County. They don't want to make a stadium deal with him. All right. So if there's a new owner, maybe Tampa does get the stadium deal and the team stays in Tampa. But as far as what it means for Orlando, I don't think it is that much different, because it's always been, if they build a stadium in Tampa, we're not getting a team. All right. If they don't build a stadium, we might get the Rays coming to Orlando. So it's the same. They still have to get a stadium built no matter who owns the team. Now, there's no stadium plan in place over there. They haven't been able to get a stadium built in 20 years in Tampa. Even when Stuart Sternberg wasn't as hated as he is right now, he couldn't get a stadium built. So Tampa still has to get a stadium built. Whether they can do that, I don't know. They have a little better shot with a new owner, but I don't think this is, doomsday for Orlando's baseball effort.
Okay, so I was thinking pessimistically because it's not a buyer from Orlando, but I think based on what you're saying, you can also spin this positive and say a Jacksonville buyer is not overly committed to the city of Tampa. They're committed to where can I get a stadium?
Right. If the Jacksonville developer can't get a stadium built in Tampa, you know what he's going to do? He's gonna do what the Orlando Dreamers ownership group is doing right now. He's going to come to Orange County and say, "Hey, do you guys want the Rays? Build a stadium." I mean, I don't know about you, Kravitz, but I'm not tied to the Orlando Dreamers or, ownership group. I don't care who owns the team that's in Orlando. It could be the Dreamers. It could be the developer from Jacksonville. It could be Stu Sternberg moving the team over here. I wouldn't care.
I'm completely with you. No offense, Jim Schnorf, but we're just trying to get a baseball team. All right, hit me with one more, Mike.
All right, I want to ask you, and you were off last week when this story sort of broke. Your favorite football team, the Miami Dolphins, and Coach Mike McDaniel. So they're having their mini camps last week, and McDaniel's talking about, we're going to be more accountable this year. We expect our players to show up on time. And he's being all salty, talking to the media, using the F word in public. So he's trying to put on this tough guy persona. I don't think it's going to work, Kravitz. I don't think you can go from, Club Mike to military Mike and the players are going to buy into this. What do you think?
That is true if the core players on the team are the same guys. I think Tua feels moldable. I think you can get him to kind of flow with whatever the attitude is. But it all goes back to the cancerous cell that is Tyreek Hill. No, he's not going to buy it. Jalen Ramsey, a very acerbic figure, he's not going to buy it. So you got to move off of the guys that can see right through that, or just simply don't care how militaristic you decide you want to be. I've only been a parent for the last 5 years, but I believe I learned this lesson very early on, which is you have to start with authority and then develop friendship. You can't go friendship to authority. So it feels like Mike McDaniel may be traveling the wrong path here.
There you have it. The crossover is over.